What's going on, guys? Summer is supposed to be coming, even though I'm not so sure with all this cold weather that we're having. But the AC is again broken in this car, and today we're gonna fix it. Let me show you what's going on. So I'm not sure exactly which one. There was a ton of oil in here before, but now it's kind of dried up over the winter. But one of these hoses, I believe, cracked, and all of the refrigerant and oil came out. So we're gonna unbolt this and cut away this material to expose just the lines, and I'm gonna see exactly where it cracked or where it's leaking from. Alright, so if we take a look here, you can see there's a bunch of corrosion around here. So it could have been leaking from this. At least some of it could have been. I don't see any cracks or anything like that. So I'm going to clean up some of this with a wire wheel, but especially this one, because this one is still wet and it's corroded right here, and I have a feeling there might be a crack right here. So I'm going to go ahead and take a wire wheel and clean these up. So I'm having a little bit of trouble getting in here with the wire wheel. I'm chewing the crap out of this, which isn't that big a deal, but I think what I want to do is just see how hard it is to replace both of these lines. I'm going to replace them and get the seals at both ends of the lines as well. I can just grab them from a junkyard or something. I've actually never seen these leaking on a Civic before, so I assume they would be easy to find. I'm going to go ahead and pull out the battery, see how hard they are to disconnect back there, and give you an update then. Just to give you guys a little update, I unbolted the AC lines from back there, and now up here I unbolted this one, and I don't think that it was leaking from here, because this is where the seal is in here. This, I think, has been leaking from that spot right here on this little line. So these are super easy to take apart, and the junkyard closes soon. So I'm gonna run there, and I'm just gonna grab these two lines, and on the way home, I'm going to stop at the dealer. I don't think mine are leaking, but I'm going to see if I can get these O-rings, just in case, although this one feels really good still. I probably don't need them, but I'm going to try to get them anyway. If they don't have them, it'll be fine. I'll put the new lines on, and I don't know. I'm going to see if maybe I can rent a vacuum. I've never had to do this to a system that's like been fully drained of oil and everything. So after I repair this, it's going to have to be vacuumed out. I'm not entirely sure on that process, so I'll see if that's something I can rent, or if I got to take this to a shop, then I will. But I'm going to go ahead and go to the junkyard and get those parts and get this going. So I'm driving in the FRS right now, and I just want to quickly talk about how great it is to have a car that you can always depend on, that you can just get in and drive anywhere you need to go and still look cool driving. It's awesome. It's a really good feeling. So I just want to go over something really quick. I know the lens is dirty, I'm sorry, but I just want to point out what just happened to me, and happens to me way too often. So I was at the Honda dealer. I got new O-rings. I also got new hoses from the junkyard, by the way, but I got new O-rings for those hoses from the Honda dealer. And my total came out to $17.49. I had a bunch of singles in my wallet, so I gave him $23. And I said, I hope you don't mind. I'm trying to get rid of some of my singles. And he said, okay, and he took it. He goes back. He's back there for a couple minutes. Comes back out like mad. And he's like, I don't understand what you're trying to get me to do with this. And I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, you're just gonna get the singles back that you gave me for change. And I was like, no, I'm not. And he was like arguing with me, and he was irritated. I could tell he was really irritated. And then I was like, okay, listen, I'll do the math for you. And I pulled out my phone and I put it in my calculator, $23 minus $17.49, and it comes out to $5.51. I was like, so you give me a $5.51, that's my change. That happens too frequently. First of all, when you work somewhere like that, you have a calculator in your cash register, so you just enter in the amount that I gave you minus what I owe you, and that gives you the change. So first of all, it shouldn't be an issue. Second of all, if you're taking money, you need to know how to do basic math. Now, I understand, like, if you work at a parts place, you know, maybe your knowledge is more into cars than it is into math or whatever. But still, if you're working a cash register, you need to know how to do math. I can't use flash because my battery is low, but here are the new lines that I got from the junkyard. And there's 2 O-rings on the end of them, one right there, one right there. I got the new O-rings for those from the dealership. And then down here are the same 2 O-rings. There's one right there and one right there, same exact size. I'm going to replace all 4 O-rings and put the new hoses on. Alright, so you can see over there, they're hooked up. They go underneath and around here. And right there. And these are tightened up as well with new O-rings in there. Now I just got to go ahead, put the battery back in, the air box back in, and then we can refill the AC system, which I'll show you guys how to do next. So unfortunately I'm out of time, but we got the battery back in, and we have the air box back in. So now all I got to do tomorrow is go ahead and refill the AC. That's what I'm going to show you how to do it. So see you then. Alright guys, so we're going to vacuum out the system now. What I want to do is it's all hooked up. You get the yellow line going to here. This is the high, or this one's a high obviously. This is a low. We need to open both of these up. Well, we need to turn the vacuum on first and open both these up. This should start vacuuming the system. And I just want to run that for about 30 minutes to get all the moisture out of the system. And then we want to test and see how long it holds the vacuum. Make sure that it holds it for another half hour. So we're going to vacuum it for half hour, check to make sure that it holds it for half hour, and then we can go ahead and charge the system. So I got the vacuum running right now. I'm going to go ahead and open up these. You can see it's already got some vacuum. I'm going to open up this one as well. And that doesn't seem right because it's pinned. Oh, I know why. It'll probably help if I open up these first, so I'm just going to go ahead and turn these clockwise to open them up. Both of those are good. Should both be closed. Okay. Go ahead and turn on the pump. And then go ahead and open these up. That's still pinned, which is definitely not right. I guess it doesn't really matter as long as it's holding vacuum. So if we shut this off, it's still holding at 0 or at negative, or at 30, more than 30 inches of mercury, which is definitely wrong. It's not even possible. But it's definitely vacuuming, so we're going to run this for a half hour. Alright, so this is pinned down there at 0, or not at 0, but at the little stopper down there. So we're just going to let this go, sit for a half hour and see if it moves. If it doesn't, then we are good to go ahead and fill up the system. Alright, so it's actually like 45 minutes later. You can see it's still holding vacuum. So what we're going to do is go ahead and disconnect this yellow hose from here. We're actually going to screw it into the can. I'll get it all set up, and then I'm going to show you that I'm going to put some oil in this yellow hose and then hook it back up. Alright, so all of this stuff, I don't know if I already mentioned it, but I rented this stuff from AutoZone. Cost me over a little over $300 together. I think that was like $150 and that was like $170 or something like that. So obviously I get that money back when I return them. So you want to use like a credit card to get those if you don't have that much in the bank. Which back when I was first working on cars I didn't. So credit card's good for that kind of stuff. Anyway, what you want to do is I got this UV dye. It's not UV dye, it's the oil. And it has UV dye in it. It was only $1 more than the regular oil, so that way if it leaks, then I can kind of see where the leak is. Now I only need 5 ounces of this, so I'm just going to try to guess. And maybe just pour it down till there's like that much left or so. So I'm going to pour this all in the yellow hose, and then I'm going to hook the yellow hose back up to here. Right now you can see that I have the can on here. So I'll let you know once I have the UV dye in the hose. Or not the UV dye, but the oil. Okay, so this hose is pretty filled with oil right now. I added, if you take a look here, not too much, maybe just a couple ounces. Maybe two ounces, maybe 3. But from what I was reading online, you don't want to overfill it with oil. And I don't know how bad my leak was. I don't know how much oil has emptied out. So I'm going to play it safe, and this is all I'm going to put in there. So we're going to go ahead and start it up and get this going. Alright, so just showing you guys my setup. I got the car running, obviously. I got the AC on. And
signal acquired.
I got the fan on low, the air on cold. It on these vents right here. It's coming out really cold, but it's also cold outside, so it's hard to tell. I got my AC fan on, the one that we had to wire up there because the wiring in the car stopped working. And if you come over here, this can's just about empty. The compressor's kicking on. You can see we got some pressure here. You can see in here the refrigerant going in. There's obviously none going on right now because this can is empty. Yeah, that's completely empty. So we got to do one more can. So what I'm going to go ahead and do here now is just go ahead and close this off. And then we can go ahead and swap that can out. Alright, both cans are empty. And I think that it was blowing out cold air. It's kind of hard to tell because it's like 32 degrees outside right now. But I think we're good. There's definitely no leaks or anything, nothing that I can hear. And it was holding pressure until I disconnected everything. So we are good to go. I'm going to pick back up tomorrow. What's up, guys? It is a few days later and it is warm out. Got a t-shirt on. And I tested the AC and it works amazing. So I'm really happy with that. This car is like perfect now. I replaced a fog light bulb, and literally every single thing is fixed in this car. There's not a single thing wrong with it, which is, I don't know, it makes me really happy. But anyway, guys, make sure you like the video, subscribe, share it, whatever you can do to help, and thanks for watching. Peace out.